beautiful. Fucking your hair, your teeth, body. You can sing and act and dance.
Well, you know.
Got a beautiful wife. Like, it's like what gives? Like,
What do you want?
Hello, Mr. Daniel Krikler. People call you Daniel. I just did.
Danny.
Danny boy.
Danny.
Yeah.
Not Danny boy. Lib calls me Danny. My nan calls me Danny. Daniel. No one calls you Daniel.
Oh, sorry.
Literally no one. You can. If you want.
That'd be my
That can be
thing.
your thing, Daniel.
I was
And I'll just ignore you then. I'll be like.
I was trying to work out where we met, and I think it was when you were doing Loserville with
like
Ashley Luke Lloyd.
Hundreds of years ago.
Dozens of years ago.
No, not dozens. 2012.
I love that show.
Yeah, that was my first show after Laines. So yeah, it was good, really good. And I'm still really good friends with everyone as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, like everyone, pretty much everyone. Not everyone, a lot of people.
Most.
Not everyone. No,
Who don't you like?
joking. That sounds really shady now, doesn't it? Like, well, there's some people.
Some of them.
No, there's really not actually. But I'm closest to like Duncan, Robbie, Shane still.
Does Duncan do spinning with you?
For a little bit. No, he doesn't. He works at another place now.
Right.
Where he originally worked. Yeah. So boom.
Yes. That's why. Boom.
Yeah. Boom.
Boom. And then you did Bear.
Yeah. Did you see Bear?
Of course I saw Bear. Dale Evans.
Yeah. Is that why you saw Bear?
No, Michael Vincent, Ross, William Wilde, obviously. That's why I saw it.
Yeah. That was fun.
Have you seen the recent version of it?
No, have you? Obviously. Silly question. Was it good? Saying nothing.
I missed you. Yeah, it's not as good as because you weren't in it.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people said how I really made that show. No, because I was cast as the girl's part, right? Do you know about this? So my part's called Rory, and it's like Rory, and I think Paul and everyone was like, they just said Rory, but that's a guy. And then as we were rehearsing it, they went. Everyone kind of worked out Rory is not a boy; it's definitely a girl's role. And then I think when they redid it, they also used a guy. And it kind of worked.
Wow!
Yeah,
you originated that role.
I was. Yeah, it was the first gender swap of its era.
Gender neutral.
And it was also like a total mistaken one. I'm sure that's what happened. But I kind of like that.
Love that. I never knew that.
That's quite cool, right?
I'm going to look into that because it's something. Well, it was called pop opera and then rock opera and.
Yeah, I never understood like changing the name of it.
Well, they changed it slightly a bit.
Oh, really? They actually changed the show?
Yeah.
Oh, music.
And this new version completely, like they've changed the ending.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, what happens? It has to be the same ending, doesn't it?
It's kind of given a different slant. It's interpreted differently.
Because that's the whole like Romeo and Juliet thing. That has to be. Like.
Yeah. I mean, that still happens, but the intention behind it is kind of explored in a different way.
Fair enough.
So there you go.
I'm doing my hair because we just did the show.
Your hair looks
probably horrendous.
bang. Like I was saying this earlier. It's like you've got perfect teeth, perfect hair, perfect body. You can sing and dance.
Huge penis.
And well, I was there at West End Eurovision when you skipped over the stage with it, wagging around.
Yeah.
So I think we've all seen it.
Yeah, I'm still not quite forgiven for that one. I don't think.
Whoa, did Libby go mad?
No, not mad, but she didn't. I don't think she knew.
Was she in the audience?
No, she wasn't. But I knew if I was like, Lib, I'm thinking of getting naked, she would have been like, nope, do not do that. I think she got like messages being like, Dan's just got naked on thing. But I wasn't allowed to do it, so we checked it with the West End Eurovision was mad, and they were like, no, that's like not okay. And then
you did it anyway.
Yeah, I didn't tell anyone. I think I'm right. I didn't. I know some of the guys knew, because everyone's talking about ways to like. Anyway, how do we move so quickly on this conversation?
You brought it up. You mentioned it. I didn't even say it.
I was joking. Yeah.
We're talking about your acting.
Yes, I'm
you
a very
are a brilliant
serious
actor. Well
actor,
done. So we're here doing a play called Unicorns Almost.
Yeah, very good. Well done.
Which I thought was going to be about
tits and teeth.
Gay soldiers.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because it's a bit.
Yeah, it's funny. So like, I've done two. It's the second play I've done written by Owen, and the first was called Pink Mist.
Yeah.
And the second one's Unicorns Almost. And they both have a kind of fairly like misleading title, but they're both neither of them. Yeah. So this is about Keith Douglas, a World War II soldier and poet, true guy, amazing poet and really interesting guy, and no one knows who he is or knows anything about him. So it's really interesting. And Unicorns Almost is a kind of quote from one of his poems.
Yeah.
One of the most kind of brutal poems of his, and it is a cool phrase, like you know, I think within it. Yeah.
but brilliantly written.
Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah, Owen's
Stunning.
amazing.
And for a one-man show, you've incorporated the soundscape as well, and the lighting, and
Yeah, I mean, I'm boring as anything to like just have me go for like an hour.
I don't know. I think you've got
No,
a
but I
bit
think
of
like
charisma.
it was there's so much dialogue in it, and,
Yeah.
and we had to cut a lot. So
Right.
the original script, the play text you buy now, originally was running so long.
Is that to make it fit 60 minutes?
Yeah, for a festival time, and also just like I think a one person show much longer than an hour it's like a lot to ask of an
Yeah.
audience. And fair enough if you break it up. So we try and break it up with as much movement and changes of tone and shift of stuff as we can. But you can't get away from the fact that it's it's World War II and it's poetry, and that's not everyone's cup of tea necessarily. So you're trying to it's hard because you're trying to make it as accessible, I suppose, as
Some of
possible.
the poetry is like I'm not the biggest reader
Yeah,
of poets,
fair enough,
but some of the way he describes
Yeah. So the idea
stories is very beautiful.
Yeah, so his thing is that he always thought it was all too, the poetry of his time was all too wafty and a bit too like placed, and that's his whole thing is being like, I'm here seeing like dead bodies, seeing all this horrible stuff, so I need to describe this as like more brutally. So I think he was quite ahead of his time in that sense. But yeah, the sound's gorgeous. So our sound designer John Nichols does a lot of stuff for radio, like a lot of radio plays. And maybe not so much now, I think, but he certainly, I think that was his kind of starting point. So he's amazing at building this kind of soundscape that's so visceral, kind of pulls you in.
Definitely enhances
Yeah,
your
yeah.
performance, which is brilliant. It's a brilliant performance, honestly.
Thank you.
So let's talk about that. So you obviously you trained at Leighton, and then you did Jersey Boys and Bear and Mamma Mia and
and
then you
Loserville
decided
was my fourth.
to focus on acting.
Yeah, I always loved acting, and I didn't and still don't see a difference between.
No.
I don't see a difference between musicals and plays at all. I have friends who, like straight actors, who kind of will say I hate musicals, and I have my musical theatre friends who'll be like, oh, I hate plays, I don't really see plays. I just can't, like, I hate some plays and some musicals, and I love some plays and but like, I hate the kind of category. That's what's such a shame, right? Because musical theatre ranges from everything, of course it does, right? Like, and same as straight theatre ranges so much. So I never saw the line between them is so blurred to me that it doesn't exist. But coming from Leighton as a dancer, which I love and I'd love to do more of, you can't go and do a one-man play.
Do you feel you get pigeonholed still?
Oh yeah, of course. Now, so I tried really hard to break that. I went to Central for 1 year after those musicals and did my MA there, and I'm really glad I did, and I learnt a lot. I do think they ask different things of you. That's what I think. So let's say like Mamma Mia and Jersey Boys that have been running for a long time, they do want you to, they need to and want to recreate the show they initially put on, right? So you become very, very good at doing what you're told and like stand here, do that. And that's a really, really useful skill, but you're certainly not asked to create from scratch. And even I think Loserville, I don't remember ever, maybe that's not fair. Like Nick Winston's an amazing choreographer, but I think in general, that you work the stuff out and then they teach it to us and we can go, okay, that's that. And it might shift and stuff, but so the difference then when you come to creating something, and maybe that was just my experience because I didn't create musical, maybe that is, that people do ask you to be as creative when you're putting on a show for the first time. But that was quite scary when someone says, here's some text and a clean slate, like what do you want to do, what feels right to do? And even now I'm learning, so I just did the show at the Old Vic in London and like watching, and I was understudying that and was watching those guys work.
That was Present Laughter with Andrew Scott.
Yeah, and watching Andrew and the whole cast like work for me was like, oh wow, because I still was like, okay, I'm not bringing half as much, and I think of myself as fairly intelligent and independent minded, but I still like, I'm not bringing half of what I could bring, when you think how deep you could try and mine something. So it was really cool to come back to this, which we did last year, and see what else I can bring to it, and to keep it developing and changing. Because that's the other thing. So on Jersey Boys, I was dance captain, and my actual job was don't let the show change, right? So you're saying this is the show, do not change it. And I do get that, but at the same time, it's such a shame because like now I feel like, okay, well, how can things grow and changes, and maybe you lose something, but also you can gain. I just feel like you can gain so much. So, yeah.
So let's talk about the volume of text. You seem to tackle it quite well.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like you dropped a beat.
Yeah, I think I messed up.
Was that a challenge to take all that in and recall all that?
I reckon people like.
Just some people could do it, and some people,
No, I reckon everyone could learn. Yeah, it's a lot of text, but it took me a month or so to learn before we started rehearsals. I think everyone can do it. It's just maybe it would take some people longer than others, or everyone's got their own way of learning lines. But I think once it's there, I think it's like, if you think how much information, like just as humans, that we hold all the time, all the knowledge that we have, and the things that you could, I think, I guess, I don't know, I think that's just fine. I think when you step in and see it once, it is like, wow, that's a lot of lines to learn.
Yeah.
And people are often like, oh wow, how'd you learn the lines and stuff like that? But my feeling is like everyone could do that totally fine, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I can only know what my experience of it is, and I find it okay. So yeah, but I do mess up all the time. Oh, I dried for the first time. I totally dried the other day, and thankfully, you know the bit where there's a bit where his wife, or his fiance, kind of leaves him in that bit, and it's that sad moment. I was like, what's the next line? And I was just there, and I was like, we still had our creatives in. I was just stood there. I was like, and I almost jumped ahead, and then obviously if you jump ahead too far, you'd ruin all the sound cues and cues. So I was like, no, don't panic, just take your time. And it was probably like a 10-second pause, but it felt like, and I could feel like, and almost like the director of everyone was like, kind of like, he's going, and then eventually I was like, and I kind of found it again. Yeah.
Do you have a prompt or?
No.
No, you just have to.
I mean, if it was totally dropped, then yeah, I guess I could.
Someone would step in.
Yeah, but no, I think I could always save it. Always know enough to save it. The worst, I remember when I got thrown off for Bob in Jersey Boys, and I had the exact same thing, but it was in the middle of Sherry. So you've seen Jersey Boys, right? So you're doing like the Sherry, and then there's the big girls, and I think it's that joint, and you like finish Sherry, and you like step to face the front, and you're in the spotlight, and it's like underscoring, and it's supposed to be like the next day, and then the whole world explodes, boom, and you step in, and I went, and I was like. And like nothing came, and it was horrible. You're in a spotlight, and it's so obvious that you're. I was going. I think I maybe just kind of, and then just remember, no, and it was terrible. Yeah, that was really bad. And then but it's quite fun as well, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Because it's like live theatre. You know, going wrong is kind of the best thing about it, and the adrenaline kicks in, and you're like, oh yeah. Yeah.
So back to your play. We're here at Army in the Fringe.
Oh, I know. Yeah, Army at the Fringe.
Army at the Fringe. Yeah.
That's bad, I should know that.
Well, I should know that, I just looked at it. You're looking at your pass there. Army at the Fringe, it's on that flyer over there.
It is at the Fringe, yeah, at the Fringe, yeah.
Which is a kind of...
Which I do know.
They've been run for 3 years now.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant. So this building is...
It's a reserve centre.
Yeah. So it's a fully working reserve centre.
Yeah, so I mean you can maybe see people walk across the back. There's all the art people in full... It's weird, because we're obviously... theatre, and I'm pretending to be a soldier, but the place is full of genuine cadets and soldiers, and so we're here. They're supporting us and looking after us, and it's great. It's strange because it's not like it makes you feel like what you're doing is maybe like not propaganda, but it's almost like a recruitment type thing. Right. Whereas it's not. Obviously, the play, as you see, is very much a kind of this guy's the reality of war for him, which was getting injured and then eventually getting killed, and his opinion, you see his opinion shift from like, let's go fight, it's going to be great, to the reality, to be like, I don't want to fight anymore, this is horrible. So it's not a pro-war piece, as I don't think any of the pieces here are, but I think maybe the impression comes across. I mean, I don't know how you felt like when you first come here and walk in. Is it strange, or is it like... No,
well, I've been places like this before. I was going to ask with regards to the costume, because is that an authentic...
Yeah, so the costume we have is based on his desert. What he would what they would have worn. So he fought in Battle El Alamein in Egypt in tanks, one of the first big tank conflicts. And they actually, if you look at all the photos, it's quite ragtag. They go, they all got scarves and put over their mouths and little bits here. And I think basically the kind of strictness of the uniforms you had to wear actually kind of relaxed quite a bit, so they didn't wear their kind of gaiters so much and all those things. It was just hot and kind of horrible, and I think ours is very authentic. They're real desert boots, and
I was going to ask, is it replicas or the actual real stuff? Because I've done a few war films where you actually put the real clothes on.
I mean, in films, it must be.
In a way, that kind of, as soon as you step into it, you feel like the history of what you're wearing. Do you feel that when you put that costume on?
You use those high-waisted trousers with the belt, that kind of proper webbing belt, and then you put in the beret on, and all those things help so much. Also, I always think it's interesting though, because I think, so at first you're like, I'm playing a soldier, so I'm, must be like a military. That's your kind of thought process, right? But then actually, it's like, well, this guy's a poet, and also, I feel like soldiers, you see everything. They're just normal people who have that uniform on, right? So you don't necessarily need to become like I am a military man. These are just normal men and women who, kind of been with the kind of uniform on. So, it is interesting. and how much you can kind of immerse yourself in that world, or how much you. It's funny because all that kind of descriptive stuff, driving through and things you're seeing, and it's like how much do you try and like really picture and imagine and see those things, or how much do you allow yourself to acknowledge that it's theatre and they're not really there. I don't really know where I stand in terms of that sort of like I don't know, acting ideology of like how you do something. Yeah, don't know.
And how did it feel to be part of the Edinburgh Fringe? Have you been up here before?
So I've been most years, I think, to see a friend.
To watch, yeah.
The only time I performed here was when I was, I want to say 17 or 18. We took 13, the musical,
really?
with a mate. And I think I was 18, and I was supposed to be like choreographing it, just like with some mates. Went to a C venue, and I ended up playing because the guy basically kind of pulled out quite late, so I ended up having to play Evan. I think, is it Evan Goldman, 13? And he's like a 13-year-old kid, and I was 18. Like, he's not good. And it was a really high sing. Anyway, I went with them for 1 week, and it was good. It was really, really cool. Yeah, yeah.
Now you're back 10 years later.
Yeah, I really like it. Also,
have you managed, because you're quite on the outskirts of the Fringe itself.
Yeah, about 15.
Does it feel like you're segregated, or
it's nice in a way because it means that when I want to go in and get involved, I can, and when I want to just step out. And also, Edinburgh's so beautiful. Sometimes you just want to go for a walk or go climb up some mountain or some hill. Then you can do that as well. So I like it. I find it quite overwhelming. I feel like Edinburgh, like maybe because I'm doing the show, maybe because I'm just tired. I don't know, but the quantity, it's amazing because you can go and see. And I like when you get into one venue and kind of then you have a drink and you go and you can catch a few in one venue. But just walking around, like the quantity of flyers and flyering and posters and stuff, like it's quite a lot. Like, I find that really intense.
Have you been having to do any flyering?
Not yet. No. I feel bad.
I'm surprised they haven't sent you out in the uniform.
There's talk of it. We've been selling really well. It's a small space, we've been selling really well for it. So I think that's eased the pressure a little bit. Yeah. And they've been working really hard. I'm kind of I will. I'm up for it, but it hasn't been.
But again, it's quite overwhelming to do that, I guess.
Yeah, it's so competitive
and tiring.
Yeah, competitive. It's kind of relentless, and also a lot of your audiences, I feel, sometimes can be fatigued because it's like you go. So like you were saying, you kind of seen a few less this year because actually you just see show after show after show, and it's like there's only so many different. And maybe if you change it up and do kind of some comedy and some dance and some theatre and some, do you know what I mean? Maybe that's good, but sometimes even if I see three in a day, I saw last week a few times like 3 in a day after doing hours, and I just got to a point where I was like, okay, that's a lot now, like, so yeah. But I'm going to see loads this week because now I'm more chilled. I'm going to see loads, yeah.
So you were here for the rest of the week, and then you'd taken it to.
Then a week off, and then we're taking it to Bristol for 1 week in their studio.
And what's the connection with that? Is that where Owen?
Yeah, so I did the first play I did when I left Central was Pink Mist, which is also written by Owen and also directed by John Retallack, who's our director. So we did that there 1 week at Bristol, and then we toured that production, and that was kind of a real Bristol homegrown. It was set in Bristol about these 3 young Bristol lads who went to fight in Afghanistan. So I think part because of those connections, and Owen, is very well known in Bristol. He's a poet as well, and he writes a lot of other multimedia stuff, and he's very well known.
What's his connection to the army?
To war. Yeah, I think he finds that funny.
Just an interest.
Yeah, I think he's become a kind of war poet. So he did a show called I'm going to get it wrong. The 2 Worlds of Charlie F, I think it was called, and that was like verbatim on like interviewing hours and hours of soldiers after Afghanistan, I think. And he did that and went really well, and then he had this kind of a lot of. I think that just plunged him into that world, where he then had all this material for Pink Mist and stuff. So yeah, I think that's a connection. He's not a soldier. I think he does have some military background in his family. Yeah. I think, but no, he's just. I don't think he wants to be he's written a lot of his novels are about conflict as well. So yeah, I suppose.
I mean, it is a fascinating era, and I think what I liked about this play is the use of the music. Really kind of hones in on that. Yeah, kind of takes you to that place.
I love I think music's so good for that, isn't it? Just so we have that kind of swing, jazz stuff, 1940s swing, and it's kind of a magical. When we first did it, we had this kind of chandelier hanging in the middle of the thing, and like it's like Egypt in the 1940s, 1941, I think, and you got this swing jazz music and all these troops, these soldiers. I suppose we romanticize it now looking back, but at the same time, I think that is the genuine experiences. I've just left home, I'm here, I could die tomorrow, or that sort of thing. I think that is like incredibly exciting and kind of beautiful. And falling in love with it, and he talks about, you know, for the first time seeing, you know, Egyptian women and being like, wow, these kind of. So there is something really kind of charming about that, and that music just kind of captures that in a way that me saying it kind of never could. And then my favourite bits when we do the bit of dance and a bit of, you know, where it just
you might just slip in a little bit of that lady training there.
Not quite, but yeah.
And a little, was it 16 bars of...
what is it? I don't even know what it is. It's just my basic, no, because I'd never done ballroom, and then at Central we did the little like really basic swing and stuff, so I was like, we'll just do some of that, and I'll do like a pretend little turn under the arm.
And the lines were all there.
Thank you.
Looking brilliant. Betty Lane will be pleased.
Miss Lane will be happy. Thanks, Miss Lane.
So let's talk about that other play you did, which was a gay play. Homos.
Or everyone in America.
There was no misleading there, was there?
No.
So you were playing opposite Tyrone Huntley.
Yeah. Well, not really opposite. I was in it. It was basically Tyrone.
You played his
Harry.
lover.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. Yeah, but it was basically a two-hander, Tyrone and Harry's play, and they were phenomenal. And then Cash. And then
wheel out you in
Cash and I were. Yeah, I was there in my shorts, covered in water. No, that was I had such a good time. And Josh Seymour, who directed it, who I'm still good friends with, and I'm going to see his show Music tomorrow.
With Francis Barber.
Yeah.
I'm thinking tonight.
Oh really? Mm-hmm. Don't tell me what you think. I want to see it.
The play's brilliant.
Yeah.
But then it's follow up to Closer to Heaven. Did you ever see that?
No, I didn't.
So that's above the stag at the moment.
That's the moment. Yeah. So that was a really cool play. I had a lot of fun with that. And again, just learning. I always feel like, also when you start a project, you finish something, you're like, yeah, I really know what I'm doing now. I think I can really do this acting thing and whatever, you know, performing thing. And then the next job you start, I'm always like, oh wow, I'm really bad, and these people are like really good. And I think everyone kind of feels a bit like that. But I love that because you can like, Ty and Harry are both phenomenal performers. So watching them, deal with their quantity of text. And also, you know what I got from that was pacey. You know, that was so fast and that kind of very naturalistic, cutting into each other. And I really enjoyed that. And like, again, just like Harry's so strong gesturally. You know, he's come from a slightly more kind of televisual place, I think, where his performance. So he's like he was so good with his gestures. I tried to nick some of that. Basically, just trying to nick off people that I watch. I think that's the best way.
Has it been nice to get out of London for a bit?
Yeah, we finished Present Last on Saturday night, and then we went out for drinks, and then I got up like 7 a.m. on Sunday, came here and started teching this. So it is really nice, and now that we're a week in, I've kind of had my time to relax. But at that point, it was harder than I thought, going from having been like rehearsed and prepped to be on the Old Vic, which is a huge barn of a theatre. You're practically shouting every line, and then to being here, which you see is like the tiniest, 5 metres by 5 metres, tiny, and I can actually like whisper, and you can kind of still hear. So I think at first I got there and I was like really shouting, and then I think John, and being really like big, I think John was like, all right, Dan, I think you can just bring it down like a little bit because it's more. So that was harder than I thought, that transition. But then
you're also going from being mic'd to unmic'd.
No, we weren't mic'd for Present Last.
Oh, we not?
No, they were. I think they were quite.
But genuinely with musicals and.
Yeah. I like without mics only because I think you can.
The variance is in your control.
Yeah, absolutely, and also you can hear where someone's saying it from. Like I always think.
Yeah.
When you have a mic, it kind of could be anyone. I totally get why you need a mic when there's like underscoring and music and singing over stuff, obviously. So, but I think if you can get away without, I think you should. And but I guess like as professional performers, we should also be able to adjust to the spaces. Yeah. That's a massive part of it, isn't it? Being able to adjust to realise when it. But that is different, definitely. And I've got quite a quiet voice, and I'm not very like. Yeah, I always said that when I was singing. That's the best bit, is not singing now, like not having to be, not waking up and being like, oh, am I going to hit those? I hit them as if I ever sang high notes anyway, but like I hate every morning being like, oh, it's not quite good, all that stuff. Whereas it's quite nice. You don't have any of that really. It's like even if it's a bit off, you can just kind of get through it. Or that's nice.
And what would you like to do next? Another play or?
I love musical theatre and I love dancing. So I definitely want to do a musical at some point soon. I'm scared because
have you got anything on your wish list? Do you have like a cosmic list of things you'd like to do?
No.
Do you want to be Fiera?
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
No, I don't think I do. Like, I still don't think I could really. It's just hard. I don't have a very high voice, and like that.
Where did you and Libby meet? At Laines?
Laines, yeah.
So you've never worked together?
No.
Would that be weird?
Would it be weird? No, I think it'd probably be awesome. Yeah, I think it'd be great. I don't know. Maybe it'd be weird. Maybe if she was dance captain and I was like, she was telling me what to do, I'd be like,
I'm like,
kill him. Actually, no, I'm used to being told what to do.
I was going to say.
Yeah, I don't really have a wish list. I'm anxious in terms of like, I feel like I've worked really hard to be able to get to a point where I can do the straight theatre stuff, and I'd love to get to a point where I can just do anything. I think there's so many performers who want to be able to pick and choose, and I feel like I'm getting to that point. I'm still, I guess, anxious in terms of if I jump back into a musical, that people would still perceive me as, or box you in as that musical person. Who knows? And maybe that's more in our head as performers than it is as for cast and directors. I don't know. But at some point I'll have to dance again before I'm too old anyway. For now I'm alright, but yeah, who knows? Yeah.
Right, well, I'm going to let you get back to your lunch.
Eat my dinner, it's got cold now.
Sorry.
Thanks so much for
But well done.
Thanks, man.
Great work.
Thanks
Honestly, it was really, really good. See you later.